Guys, welcome back. Sorry about the map once again. I know it wasn't easy. Um, Editing or making your own selection of scenes and how to edit those. What you can do is just go back to your final scenes. As you see, I've already edited these and mounted these up one by one. I'm just gonna put this in quarter. Okay, it's already in quarter. So that's all one by one. So what I've done is basically intro, a movie scene, 2 pages, the one and 2 page, a single page, one, a 3 and 4 page, a single page, mix it up with a little bit of the other video for the map, and and in the scene here, we have the map, and then I have a single scene, and so on and so on and so on. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete these. I'm just going to delete these so I can explain how to mix these up a bit. So you delete these, and scenes, camera scenes, page 1 and 2. You just drop it over there on top, and just choose a different color if you want, so you know what you're doing. Okay. Cool thing about these, or what I've created in these scenes, is right in the beginning you'll see that each scene, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and even the single photos, I think, they have a page turn, a fade in, and a blur in. Okay, fade in and blur in are right in the beginning. So I'm going to turn the page turn off. What these do, the fade in and blur in, they just blur in the image and fade in at the same time. Okay, so if you don't want those, you just turn those off, and it will be a cut scene just like any other video. You can just cut. Scroll this up so you can see what you're doing. So you can have from one scene to another. You can just, as you can see, it's going to cut to another scene. So it just cuts to another scene. Sometimes the first frame is a bit jumpy, so just you can cut a couple of those first frames sometimes. Okay, so it's a clean cut from one scene to another. If you don't want a cut scene, you want it to fade in and you want it to blur in, fade in and blur in it is. It'll do the transition itself. But if you're going to blur in and fade in, keep in mind you can't have it right on the edge here. You just have to overlap it a bit, because these things, they take like about a second or half a second. So you need to know that, or if you do it this way, there's nothing in the background, so it'll cut this and then jump to a black scene like that. So what you want to do is you want to fade it in from one to another. It goes like that. So it's up to you guys. Every one of these has that option, and it also has the option at the end. You decide if you want the page to turn. Page turn, just activate it, and more or less at the end here, you just press U to find the, here right at the end, the page turns by itself. So, like I said, I just wanted to mix it up a bit, but there's nothing underneath, so you decide what you're going to put underneath this. If you're going to put your P3-4 camera, or if you're going to put maps, or if you want to put a single photo. I'm just going to put a single photo here. I'm just going to drop that underneath here. And like I said, if you're going to use the page, and when it starts to turn, you can go in here and see where it starts to turn, right over here, then go back up. Just drag that over there. So when it starts turning, there's already something in the back. As you can see, the back, it's blurred. So you don't need a fade in this case, because you want it to be there. You might not want the blur in, or you can have the blur in, it's up to you. And the option, the page turn is only for leaving the scenes, okay? So you can actually decide where you want it to leave. You can just drag it down at the end there. So it's not activated, but I didn't activate it. Page turn and activate it, okay? And you just mount up the scenes like that. You can put all the single photos in a row. You can put a map after you've edited the map. If it comes up with these markers and if they confuse you, can just delete these, delete this marker. And you can put the the map just coming in and cut over it, so you don't have to. The maps do not have transitions. They were complicated enough. I don't want to bring more stuff into the map, so they just come in a cutscene, or you can just put them underneath, and this one can this one can do its page turn. And if it's going to page turn, you just have to drag that a little bit more. So there it is. This is a more advanced scene build, like I was saying. So you can just, if you guys, basically you just build up this the way you want. I'm going to reopen the original project. If you guys are thinking, oh, I don't need such a complicated edit, I just want to take out scenes, don't save. I'm just gonna if you go into final scenes and you think, oh, I don't want all these scenes, you can just select the scenes. You're probably going to use the last scene. You're probably not going to use both maps. If you don't want to use the last map, you just delete it. If you don't want to use these, you can just select those and one by one, maybe better. Just delete it. Delete the ones you don't want. Just drag this one back to where you want it. Make sure the transitions are working as explained. It's going to come in cut. This is the last. Press N because that's the end of your animation. So it's the end. So this part can just show up here. Just press N. Go to your final scene without moving. Final scene. Press N again, and that is your final scene. You can actually just right-click, trim to comp work area, and it'll be your project will be like this. And that is editing and creating your own timelines. The next one is rendering. I've got some pointers on how to render this a little bit faster and how to avoid having to re-render everything when things don't go so good. Thanks.